Hi, welcome back to DuckSport. It has been a little while since I released any video, and unfortunately with really good reason. I had COVID, which resulted in me getting pneumonia and spending a week in the hospital. Still off work at the moment and recovering. Been back at home now just over a week, and yeah, just first day I've been able to get out of the house at all really, so still suffering a lot, but enough whinging. Want to give you an update on all things Prefect related. So there was a few random bits and pieces I got done before I was unwell, so I've got some clips of those that I'll probably put into this video. One of the key bits that I decided to do was to change the wheels I've got on the car. So getting rid of the Team Dynamics up front and the Clio wheels out the rear, and going for steelies all round. So bought some brand new steelies for the front and have got some Volvo steelies for the rear. And I'm just going to drop in here a little clip of when I went down to Steve's to measure up for the rear wheels. Yes, you heard me right. New wheels for the Prefect. So as much as I loved the Pro Race on the front with the clear 197 wheels on the back, I just decided we're never going to work. 17s just looks too big, so I needed to drop to 15s. That meant I needed to get a really chunky tyre to make this whole thing work, and unfortunately that means I need a really wide 15, and they're either really expensive or just not available. So instead I'm going for banded steelies. On that note, big thank you to Mac Tyres in whatever area of Birmingham this is. I'm going to put it right here. And just been up there, he sorted me out, taking the tyres off the old Volvo steelies. And I've just chucked one of those Volvo steelies back on the car. You can see even about the spacer, the offset is really nice. The dish is as good as I'm going to get with this axle. But what isn't good is that lack of width. Now what I need to measure is just to make sure that I can go as wide as I want to without running into the shock. So I'm just measuring straight across the wheel all the way to just touching the coilover. You can see that's like a little over 9.5 inches. Good news is I only want a total wheel width of 9 inches. So I think I'm good to go for an 8.5J, which is a total width of 9 inch, and keep the current offset, well, keep the current front spacing, just increase the back spacing, and I should be able to get my 245s on the back. So yeah, just need to do a bit more checking, but it's looking good. So then with all that measuring up done, I came away and had to have a bit of a think about what I wanted to do and work out what tyre sizes and so forth that I wanted. And those of you who follow me on Instagram and Facebook will have seen some photos of tyres and so forth that I've gone with. But in the end I wanted to make sure I could fit a 245 wide tyre on the wheels, which means I needed to go for sort of an 8.5 9J wheel. Unfortunately, as you can see from those measurements that I was taking, that was going to be really tight, keeping to the current width of the car as it is. So I decided in the end, sod it, let's just go wider. So I took the Volvo wheels, made them stick out an inch further and an 1.5 inches further inboard. So that took them up to an 8.5J, which is spot on for a 245 wheel. And I'm just going to get some wider over fenders for the back. Talking of the wheels, I have got them here now. They're still in the box that they came back in, because literally they came back while I was in hospital, and I've not had the energy to be able to actually get them out. So I'm going to do that now. So I think you'll agree they look absolutely mint. Really nice dish on the front of them. Plenty wide enough now for those 245 width tyres. So the only thing that needs doing now is these wheels are going to need sanding back and painting. Obviously there's bare metal on there, so they're going to need some extra prime to protect them from rusting, and then obviously I want to paint them to the finish that I want. Not sure I'm up for that just yet, and obviously I've got the front wheels that are going to need painting to match, but we'll get that done before this video comes out. So I was going to start sanding these back by hand, and yeah, it's taken a lot more out of me than I thought it was going to. So I've just had a bit of a call around my mates to see if they recommend anybody that might be able to sort this for me, and got recommended Washford Finishing in Redditch. Just spoken to Harvey there, and he is an absolute legend. So I'm going to pop over, see him now, have a chat, and potentially just get these all sorted for me. So soon after Christmas, I got the wheels back from Washford Finishing just before Christmas, but just not been up for coming out here since then. So yeah, I'll just show you the finish. So there you go, that is one of the banded steelies now finished in matte black. Obviously it still needs the centres painting. And over here I've got my front steelies. They need the barrels painting matte black and the centres painting as well. Managed to get those in the correct size and fitment I needed off the shelf, so they didn't need banding at all. But I think those front and back are going to look good. So the plan for today then is I'm just going to prep these wheels for paint. So got the first of the front wheels here, and just going to use some real fine 800 grit paper just to sort of key the surface slightly and be able to paint then straight over the fresh powder coat. Okay, that's the first wheel, just very lightly scuffed back, ready to do the barrels matte black. Just going to get the other one out and do that. Okay, so I've prepped and painted the barrels on both wheels. They look glossy at the moment because the paint's wet, but I'll just give you a quick look. So there's the first one. And the second one. So yes, the centres look more matte than the barrels at the moment. That's because I avoided painting the centres as much as I could, so they're still keyed back, and the barrels obviously are still wet, so they should dry up matte, hopefully, as long as this matte paint is any good. Got it from the same place I get all my other paints, so fingers crossed. Looks matte on the fingers, so yeah, gonna let that dry, and need to prep the, in fact no, need to do a little bit of prep on the other two wheels, and then I can paint all the centres red, but I think that's enough fresh air for today. Okay, so back out here on another day, and it's a couple of days since I did the painting of the barrels, and that's mainly because the matte black paint that I bought did dry gloss, so had to sort that out. I have now though just painted the centre of the first wheel red, and I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. Obviously the paint is still wet at the moment, it's got to dry, and it's a bit cold, so got to see how that happens, but it's probably going to want another coat, but the overall look I'm really pleased with. This is the other wheel I did. Down here had a little bit of issue with one of these cards that I'd used to as the barrier. It fell over and took a load of the paint with it. Also just noticed I seem to have had an issue there as well. I took the one out from there. But those are minor, they can be fixed, and happy so far.